still in Italy, I want to talk about tour groups, okay? There's some really good things about tour groups, and there's some awful things about tour groups. Now, if you're young and you're coming over here for the first time, a tour is probably maybe a good way to come. But on the other hand, you're going to interact mainly with your fellow tourists, and you're not going to and they're going to minimize your interaction with the local people. All right. Remember, there's more than just seeing sights to travel. Now, some of these groups are giant, okay, and so you got 30, 40 people. They're all wired, at least these days, not using bullhorns like they used to use to announce things. But they park themselves and block the street, block access for other people. I think it's very rude how they go about this, okay? If you got a big group, educate them before you get in front of the site. Don't wait until you're right there and then, okay, everyone gather around so no one else can see, and I will tell you about this. That's just not right. Okay, now, if you've never been here before to Europe or any place in the world, sometimes a tour group's a good thing. I have found that there's places I could go once I've been there on a tour that I would be very leery of going to, just as a first timer. But Europe is very, very accessible. A tremendous amount of people speak English here, so you're not going to have a lot of problems. If you're young and you're riding the train and sleeping on trains at night and then going in hostels, hey, that's great. I bought last night a €4 bottle of wine. This was the most expensive wine in the store I went in. Hard to believe you can buy a €1.50 bottle of wine. Let's talk about drinking. I don't know what the drinking age is where you live. It's probably 21. Over here, they tend to be more relaxed about their drinking ages. Also, children are given a little bit of wine with water when they're younger, and I think it makes for a more responsible outlook on alcohol as opposed to the binge type of culture that we seem to have evolved to in the United States. Now, my €4 bottle of wine is gone because I've been waiting for my cameraman, so I drank it all. But you get here. This is beautiful. We got flowers. I want to show you this wine bottle over here. This is really something. I've never bought a bottle of wine like that, but if I had the opportunity, I certainly would think about it. Now, going back to the tour thing, okay? There's a lot you can do on your own, all right? There's a lot of background information you can have, no matter what your particular discipline of study has been in the past, okay? So avail yourself to some information, read about what you're going to see, and then go and savor as opposed to having to walk around with the guidebook the whole time leading you by the nose. Consider that the dinner bell. If the menu is in English, you're not in the right place. If it's in Italian and English, you might be in the right place, but you might not be. If the menu's in Italian, you're probably going to get an actual Italian meal prepared the way the local people where you're at, cook their food. I think that's a big plus. Travel is about education. It's about learning, so don't cut yourself short. Don't think that the only thing you can eat is spaghetti or the only thing you can eat is steak. There's a whole gauntlet of things that these folks eat. The other night I had tripe and something started with an L. Turns out it was the fourth stomach of the cow. It was awesome. All right, so be a little adventurous. Okay. The beautiful countryside, the hills, they got all these grapes. They make great wine, which goes to what we talked about a little earlier in this video. Hey, they make some of the best wine in the world here, all right? They also make wines that the local people can afford to drink. Hey, I'm not a rich traveler. I try to conserve my budget. I must say, I usually drink a maybe 10 or 11-year-old bottle of wine out of the grocery store. Last night it was a 4-year-old bottle because that's all they had. That was the best one they had. But anyway, you know, try the local things, all right? Give it your best shot. All right, sometimes I look at people in some of these restaurants and I think they ought to be shot. They came all this way and they're going to order the things that are most familiar to them, and they're not going to try the experience. You know, that's BS. People should come here, embrace it. It is awesome, and just, you know, do your best to really enjoy your trip. When you're here, embrace the whole situation. Try and absorb as much of the culture as you can. Try and meet people. Try and do things that you don't do at home. All right? Enjoy. And subscribe to my videos. My grandson and I figure we're going to be rich someday because we're getting millions of sponsors or millions of you. I don't know. We're getting millions of something. And this is the crabby old man saying, buongiorno.